I'm Rachel Anthony. Welcome and welcome back to my channel for another Writing Wednesday. Today I'm going to talk about my editing process, as I have just, and I do mean just now, finished my first draft. I'll talk about my first draft process very briefly because it is nothing more than a stream of consciousness getting the thoughts out of my head onto the page. And that part's done. It was a struggle, but it's done. So now I move on to editing. And I have what I've now named my 7 points of editing. The first point of editing that I do is I actually just read the draft from beginning to end, not making any edits in the actual manuscript itself. I do make notes on the side about things that I need to do for each page of each chapter, but I have to be restrained to not actually make the edits then and there. And a good way to do that is to put your manuscript in another format. Some people print it off, some people download it into like a PDF and then read it on their iPad, or just something where you're not tempted to actually hit the keyboard and make your edits right then. I feel personally that it's important to just read it as a reader, like you would read any other book, before you go in and make edits. And I also think it's important to do that reading from beginning to end, so you're not making premature edits in the beginning before you actually hit the end. You are looking at the work holistically and then making very deliberate decisions on how you want to edit. So once I've done my end-to-end read through, then I will go in and look for plot holes, head hopping. For those of you who may not know what that is, you want to write from a specific point of view. And if in a scene or in a chapter you are switching characters' point of view, you are switching from your storytelling from one character's point of view to another, it can make the reader confused. So that's one of the things that I look for to make sure that I am being very careful. Basically, I go chapter by chapter. I like to make sure that I am writing each chapter from a single character's point of view. And so that's one of the things that I look for in that first edit. The other thing is structure, to make sure that dates are lining up. I tease myself all the time because I have a degree in biochemistry. I love math. Date math is the bane of my existence. Trying to make sure that I'm lining up dates with ages and occurrences in history. It is a task, and that is one of the things I do in my first draft, to make sure that structurally everything lines up correctly and everything is factual where it needs to be. The second edit, after I've gone through and made all of those first edits, is I am looking to cut at that point. I am looking for extraneous words, repetitiveness, things that I can do to get my word count to my word count goal. I don't even want to tell you where my first draft word count is. It is extensive, meaning that in order to get it to that 100,000 word goal that I have, I'm going to have to cut thousands of words. So one of my extraneous words that I like to use a lot is the word that. And there are so many places where the word that is unnecessary. I remember when I was writing A Time for Us, I cut over 1,000 that's from the book. That was 1,000 words alone. So I'm just looking for ways that I'm just removing all of those unnecessary words and making the writing itself efficient, concise, and not drivelly, as I like to say. The next point, the third point in my editing process, and I've noticed that a lot of authors that I follow and, look at their process, I'm a bit out of order here, but this is what makes sense to me. And one of the things that I'll always advocate for is you don't have to be a follower of anybody else's process. Find what works for you and follow that. So what I do next is copy editing. And basically what that is, I'm going through reading line by line to make sure that things are grammatically correct, there are no spelling errors, and everything is written like an adult would write it and as an adult would read it. So I'm not the grammar police necessarily, and I write a lot of dialogue in my novels that won't be grammatically correct, but in those places where there's narrative and non-dialogue, I want to make sure that I am being as grammatically correct as possible. And with the dialogue, I want to make sure that I am putting punctuation where it needs to be. All of those things that I'm looking for in the copy edit. Next is where I come in with my line edit. And line edits are where you want to make sure that your sentence sounds correct. You want to actually, a lot of authors actually read it out loud to make sure that their sentences are flowing the way they want it to, that it doesn't sound, odd or, out of place or anything like that. I don't actually do my line edit that way. I don't read it aloud. What I do is I allow Microsoft Word to read to me. So I use the read aloud function on Microsoft Word and have the computer basically read it for me. Yes, it is, you can choose the voice, but it is still a very computerized voice. But at least you can hear the words as you are reading along. What Microsoft Word reading aloud won't do is it won't differentiate between homonyms. Easy for me to say. Meaning that if two words sound the same but are spelled differently and I spelled it incorrectly, you're not going to catch it from the reading aloud. But I am definitely reading along with the words as I'm hearing it being read aloud, and I'm hoping to catch any of those types of mistakes during that process. After I'm done with line editing, I send it to my beta readers at that point and let them read through it, give me their feedback for everything: plot, grammar, spelling errors, structure, timing, any questions that they may have. I want all of their feedback. And so that's when I will send it to them. And my ask is that they send it to me in a month with their edits. And that is where I come in with edit number 5. And that is what I call the beta reader edit. I will take their feedback. I'm not going to incorporate everything that they recommend, but I will take their feedback and take some of those and incorporate it into the manuscript. And that's what I call my beta reader edit. So that's number 5. After I've done the beta reader edit, that's when I will send it off to my developmental editor. So that's when I'll bring in the pros to start looking at it from that professional editor perspective to make sure that, again, looking for everything: plot, structure. They're doing, a line edit, if you will, to make sure that my sentences sound correct and flow well. They're looking for pacing, all of it. And then I will get feedback from the developmental editor and take from that what I want, incorporate it into the manuscript. And at that point comes the final edit. Edit number 7 is to send it to a professional copy editor to make sure that all of my punctuation, all of the spelling, that is going to be the last look at the manuscript to make sure that it is as clean as possible. And then once I get those edit recommendations back, I will incorporate that into the novel, into the manuscript, and then I'm done with my editing. It is a long process. It is very tedious, meticulous, but I think it's probably my favorite part of writing is the editing, because that's where you get to put the kind of the frosting on the cake. I think the first draft is actually cooking up the batter, and but there you just have a plain cake. The editing is where you get to frost it and decorate it and make it pretty, and I enjoy that. I did not realize how tedious I found the first draft to be, especially when I had such a meticulously outlined story. Going in and actually trying to fill in the details around that outline was a struggle for me this time, and it's baffling why that is. But once I got flowing in a chapter, it was fine. But there was one particular chapter, I'm not going to give anything away, but I struggled through that chapter for days. I felt like I was wasting so much time because I just didn't have it in my brain, the details that I wanted to see on the page, and I was stuck for days. But when it came time now for me to get ready to edit it, I'm excited about editing it, but you gotta have something on the page to edit, folks. So I'm there. So I just wanted to give an update on where I am on writing book 2 and give you a little peek into my process of how I go through my editing. I am anticipating that my editing will go through the end of September, probably till October, before everything is finished. Probably into November if I'm being realistic. But I'm happy where I am right now. I'm a couple weeks behind. I wanted to be done with the first draft by the end of April, and we're mid-May, and I am just now finishing. But it is finished, it is progress, and I'm going to take the win. I hope my editing process was helpful to you. You can take away from it whatever you feel may work for you, and what doesn't work for you, leave it. But at the end of the day, find what works for you, what makes your writing life easiest. And I hope to see you back next week for another Writing Wednesday. Like, subscribe, and come back. I'll see you then. Bye.